Sorry about that, guys and girls. I'm a little bit tired today. So anyway, hi guys and girls. Welcome back to my channel. So I've been putting some of these specs together, right? Comparing the Xbox Scorpio versus the PS4 versus a GTX 1070. Now, they're pretty much all ready for virtual reality, for VR, as we've guaranteed. But what are we guaranteed for best performance out of the two consoles plus a GTX 1070 graphics card from Nvidia, which actually runs is VR ready anyway? So yeah. Right, so basically start from the start. Now, Xbox Scorpio is out next year. Hasn't been confirmed a price yet on it, but I will update it as soon as I will do another video about it, of how much it's going to be, the price range, and when they're actually bringing it out next year. I will put it in my description, not in this description, but in another video some other time. Now, my guess of it, right? Consoles want to be like PCs. They will never be like PCs because PC is the master race at the moment. It is the frontier. It's going boldly where all PCs should be going and not consoles. Now, I've got my PC over there, which has got a GTX 980 in it, and that will rape anything from the Xbox Scorpio to the PS4 Pro. But as I've gathered here some specs, analysing some of the specs on it. Right. Apparently it's going to be the end of console generations once this Xbox Scorpio comes out. It's going to be the last in its series. So Scorpio will be the last in its series, and whether the PS4 Pro is going to be the last in the series, I'm not too sure until they actually get PlayStation 5 out and then Xbox 2 comes out. So whether they come out or not is entirely different. If I like to see, to be honest, consoles turn into PCs, but make it more easier and accessible for people. Thing is, people keep moaning, if it turns into more of a PC rather than a console, then they're going to have all the troubles of actually changing over the graphics card, making it taking out the old graphics card, putting the new one in, changing all the wires around, opening up the cases and taking hard drives out. But they don't have to. They don't really have to. All they need to do is get a good, decent GPU in there for at least 8 to 10 years and just keep making the games for that hardware to be used properly to its advantage. Now, performance, how powerful is the Xbox Scorpio? It has an 8-core CPU, which the manufacturer is unknown right now. They hopefully will get more information as time goes a bit closer to the CPUs. But more like it'll probably use a more powerful Jaguar X86 64-bit. On teraflops, now the teraflops is a trillion floating point operations per second, and basically what that means is it'll be able to handle more power. It'll be able to more resolution, so that means they can actually get to 4K and stuff with it, so it can handle 4K, which is actually perfect for people who's got 4K TVs and want to like put the resolution up. But hopefully consoles will allow you for the next generation, for the newer generation, hopefully they'll allow you to select the resolution, which they've been doing for a long time. But I'm on about, if you want it in 720p, you can just choose 720p, and then all the games will be played in 720p or 1080i, 1080p and all that. You get what my drift is. Anyway, so the teraflops is gonna have 6 teraflops. That's the Xbox Scorpio's teraflops. And of power, it says. Yeah, so point operations per second of power. 320 gigabytes a second of memory bandwidth, which means they will be able to do more visuals on screen, lightning, effects, special effects and all of that. More characters on screen, so they'll be able to just mash it all up, which would be actually pretty good actually. I'm not more into PCs that much. I've got my PC, my kick-ass rig over there, and I play it when I do have it, when I do play it. But I find I like my consoles. I play on my consoles a lot more than my PC. That's why it's going to last me a long time, because I'm not really that playing on much. But I will be doing more PC gaming soon, because I've uploaded a video already yesterday of some games that I'm actually benchmarking right now on my PC. So yeah, should be good. Anyway, right, I'm back. Right. So yeah, it's gonna have 320 gigabytes a second of memory bandwidth. Pretty good though. Toe-to-toe with high-end PCs. So graphics cards, it's going to be going toe-to-toe with the graphics cards, the latest ones. So in a way, the oh, and it's made for VR and 4K. Alright. Hey guys and girls, welcome back again. I just had to go downstairs a minute. So yeah, it's going to be ready for VR. It's going to be ready for 4K, the Xbox Scorpio. Price range. Now, there's been a few ideas of how much it could be, ranging between $500 and $600. But I don't know. I think something, if it's going to be high-end and taking on high-end PCs and specs, I would say if they're going to put a high-end graphics card in there, hopefully they'll allow you to change the hard drive out, so you don't have to be forced to use the internal hard drives. I would like it so there's like a little sort of a pocket gap, so you just pull it out and then put the other one in. Which would be good if they did that. Microsoft are actually turning out to be a like not that great when it comes to hard drives, putting them in, installing them and taking them all that. I remember when the Xbox 360 came out, the side one, I think it was the Elite version, where you got the little hard drive and you just pull it out and then just put it back in, and just like replace it with new ones. That was pretty decent of them. Right, now for PS4 Pro, because I've got all the specs out for that. That's all the specs that have actually been told at the moment up to this point. So whether they bring some more specs about it, more about the CPU, what maybe the CPUs, which manufacturer it's from. It's probably AMD, of course, and it's probably going to be some sort of like a Jaguar mobile chip. Mobile chip for like little mobile phones or other devices. And for the PS4 Pro, the CPU is the x86-64 from AMD. It's a Jaguar 8 cores CPU. GPU is 4.20 teraflops. Yeah, 4.2 teraflops. AMD Radeon based graphics engine. Storage is 1 terabyte on the PlayStation 4 Pro. Apparently they're saying it can do 4K gaming. But there's no 4K drive for it, so it's a bit disappointing. It can play 4K apps like Netflix and YouTube and stuff in 4K. That's if you've got a 4K screen. Otherwise, there's no point really getting the PlayStation 4 Pro or 4K, whatever you want to do. Graphics engine, 4K machine, but no disk drive, 4K disk drive. It's got a standard Blu-ray drive, but no 4K drive. The USB Super Speed 3.1, which has ×3 on it, so it's 3 of those. And maximum power wattage 310 watts, which is pretty fucking decent. And it uses the GDDR5. That is the specs that I've got at the moment that I actually written down from the websites. And that's all they've actually tell you. They don't tell you much more about that. But what we're going on at the moment is just assumptions of what these consoles are going to be like. Now, out the two, the Scorpio and the Pro, if you're going on console basis rather than PC specs, like versus the Xbox versus the PS4 Pro, well, I would actually wait until the Xbox Scorpio comes out. That is my opinion, because they have 6 teraflops of compute power, and the PS4 only has 4.2 teraflops. So there's an extra 2 extra teraflops in between each other. So you're basically getting, what would you say, about 30% more performance out of it, out the Scorpio, than you would do with the Pro. And hopefully the Xbox Scorpio adds the ability to add a 4K drive in it instead. And right, if we're gonna go now from Xbox Scorpio versus PS4 versus a high-end spec graphics card. Now, GTX 1070 has a base clock of 1594 megahertz, boost clock. Alright, be right back. Right, I'm back. Had to be disturbed. Alright. So we know now it's the GTX 1070 is going to be virtual reality ready, or VR ready. It's going to have a base clock of 1594 megahertz, a boost clock of 1784, so it boosts right up, technically up to 17, which is quite a bit of megahertz, up to 1784 from 1594. So that's roughly, I'd say, probably, what would that be, 10%, 15, 20% boost. Memory clock is 8008 megahertz effective, it says. And the CUDA cores, 1920 CUDA cores. The PCI Express is going to have a 3.0 on this one. Actually, these are already out, these GTX 1070s. They're roughly about 400, just over 400. Memory detail, other words, the memory on the graphics card, 8,192 megabytes, and that is GDDR5. And it supports games up to 4K if you've got a 4K screen TV. And transistors is 7.2 billion. That is quite a lot actually for I mean, it's a little bit of a step up from the last generation. And it uses the GP104 from Pascal. It's using the new technology, the architecture, which is Pascal. And it has 64 ROPs on it. I have no idea what the ROPs are, so but I presume those are quite a bit of a step up too, so I'm going to have to do some more research into that as well. Teraflops has 6.5. The Xbox Scorpio only has 6, so this is actually an extra 5 on the top. So this already is beating the the Xbox Scorpio already, and also it's also beating the PlayStation 4. And also memory interface is 256-bit. I think that's to do with the color ratio or something. So and it has a 1x8 pin, and these are going for roughly $450. So $450 to around about 500. So it's not too bad considering, because the 1080s are about 600-700 quid, and then I think the next ones up are like what's the next ones? Is it the Tulsa? I think it's called Tulsa. Some weird name for a new graphics card, but they're over about 1,000 or something, which is a lot. But if you're looking for price and performance wise, and to beat the Xbox Scorpio for next year, and to actually beat other games as well, other consoles like the PlayStation 4, then the 1070 is your best bet. Once you get all the whole rig together and all that, if you put an i7, I've got an i7 6700 in my PC, so add the 1070 in there. That'll be future proofed for at least a few years until the next the 1100 series comes out, probably the 1170s, 1160s, 1180s, or the next Titan one comes out maybe. Anyway, so yeah, this is just my visual idea of what's better. After all, PC is the master race after all, and if you're looking for a better graphics card to beat the new consoles, the new systems that are coming out soon or later on, or next year, then this is your best bet for these games. To be honest, the 1070 is the equivalent, I would say. It actually beats the GTX 980, the 980 Ti, the Titan Z, I think it is, or Titan X. It actually beats those from the last generation. So, and you're getting roughly more than 50% performance from last year, all the way up to about 75% performance. It depends on what you're doing. And also, we have DirectX 12 now, which means you're getting double the performance. For certain games, you'll be getting lower. Some you'll be getting higher. But most of it, you're getting a 75% increase boost to DirectX 12. DirectX 11.1 or DirectX 11.2 or whatever it was had less performance in it, but this actually doubles up. This is the UI or something, the interface, which has actually doubles the performance with the DirectX 12. Do check them out in the description anyway. Cheers all for watching. Catch you later.